See, here's the problem I'm having. I'm having low charging at idle, and it's I'm having to put a battery in this car about once a year, and that's way too fast. So I'm gonna see what I can do, and maybe I'll put the factory alternator pulley on instead of the BBK Underdrive pulley, and maybe that'll spin the alternator a little faster, and maybe it'll help with the charging system. Hey guys, today I'll be working on the charging system on my 95 Mustang GT. I was noticing kind of low charging on the gauge on the dash, and I've been going through batteries about once a year. I've got a set of BBK Underdrive pulleys on it, and the aluminum ones that have been on there probably about 3 years. So I decided I was going to try to put the factory alternator pulley back on to see if I could bump up my charging. So I've got my Underdrive crank pulley, my Underdrive water pump pulley, and then my factory alternator pulley. It took a 15/16 socket with a swivel and an impact, and it came off within 20 seconds. It's very easy to change, but I made sure I kept all my original pulleys just in case I had anything go wrong or wanted to part it out or something someday. So I just went ahead and swapped it out, and I did have to change the belt. And I'll tell you my combination, and then I'll tell you what belt I used. When I just had the BBK Underdrives on and I bypassed my smog pump, I used this belt. And that's the same belt number as you can get in any parts store. I use a Daco belt from Advanced Auto. And with the factory alternator pulley, I had to shorten it up one size, and I'm still bypassing the smog pump, but I've got my factory or my Underdrive crank and water pump pulley still on, and so I did have to shorten it up. This will save you a little bit of hassle from going back and forth to the parts store. And if you look, here's how I still got the AC on, still got the power steering on, but I've got if you look down there, you can see, and it's pretty tight. You've got to move the tensioner quite a bit just to fit this pulley on, or just to fit this belt on there. But it works pretty good, and my charging system is much happier. I did have to unbolt this and move it out of the way so that I could get a better grip on the tensioner bolt. The tensioner bolt was a 15 millimeter. I used just a 15 box end wrench. So you'll have to move the tensioner quite a bit to accomplish this, but your charging system will thank you. It might trim a horsepower off of you going back to the factory alternator pulley, but going through batteries every year ain't no fun. So y'all have a good one. My charging gauge had been running between the O and the R, and now as you see it's riding between the R and the M, just at idle. So it's doing much better, it's much happier, and it's much better for a more reliable car. I'm sure it didn't slow it down much, and I can trade off 1 horsepower for a more reliable car, having to put batteries in it less time breaking down, and it's probably even giving me a hotter ignition system because it's got more power in the battery. So I think this was a great idea, and I think it's gonna work out very well.